5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. No.
In this week's video, we see some nice examples of inducing amnesia inside the subject we're working with. So if you want to learn more, watch a little clip and maybe learn some tips and tricks on hypnosis, then keep watching and find out. Hi there, it's Turan here from Feel Good Hypnosis, and well, it's windy outside and I'm in need of a lockdown haircut, but you didn't come here for that. You've come to watch some hypnosis and maybe learn a few tips and tricks about what's going on in that hypnosis clip. So let's do that now. In this week's clip, I've got some footage of my son Jonathan hypnotizing someone. He's already hypnotized him, so the guy's in hypnosis already. I'll put a link up above to a clip where you see Jonathan hypnotizing the chap. It was a lovely clip, so make sure to watch that after you watch this one, or maybe pause this now, go check that out, but do come back to this clip. Anyway, so he's already in hypnosis and Jonathan is now moving on. It's his second or third skit set, and there's two different examples of amnesia here. First of all, he induces amnesia so that the guy forgets his name, and the second one, he induces amnesia so that the guy can't remember a number. So they're beautiful, nice, clean examples, and so let's watch that first and then stay watching, because afterwards I'll come back and chat to you about what you saw in that clip and hopefully break down some hints and tips for you if you're doing hypnosis yourself, or even if you're just curious as to what's going on, you'll get a good idea. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget, click the big red subscribe button so you get notified every time a new video comes out from Feel Good Hypnosis. Click the little bell notification next to that subscribe button. If you have any comments about this video, any questions, anything you want to know, or even if you don't want to comment on this video but you've got a question about hypnosis, put it in the comment section below. I love reading your comments, I love feeding back on your comments, so please do. And during this video I'm going to be referencing a comment I got last week involving hypnosis, so stay tuned for that and get the answer to that. In the meantime, let's watch the video.
So, Owen, I'm gonna, when I count backwards from 3 down to 1, your feet are no longer going to be stuck to the ground. But what you're going to find is your name. Your name is now gone. It is now gone, vanished. You will never remember your name until I say so. Okay, anytime I ask you your name, you will not be able to remember it because it is now gone, vanished from the minds. Nod your head when you understand. Okay, very good. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. How do you feel? You couldn't step over the way for me? You feel good? Feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not stuck. I'm sorry, I've been hypnotizing people all day. I keep forgetting their name. Your name is?
I can't remember it.
Your name is?
Oh, come on, Benjamin. Yes, I know it.
No? Okay. You sure? Have you got a driver license or anything on you? You do? But you can't remember? Who named you? Do you know? Mum or Dad?
Mum.
Mum? What's your name, you? Sleep now, sleep. Even deeper in the relaxation. That's right, just allow yourself to go even deeper. Okay, when I count backwards from 3 down to 1, you remember your name is Owen, it's always been Owen, and since now back, you can remember it, no problem. But this time, when I count backwards from 3 down to 1, the number 7 is going to vanish from your minds. Number 7 is going to vanish from your mind. You're not going to remember the number 7. When you count to 10, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, up to infinity if you need to. Nod your head when you understand. Okay, very good. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. How do you feel?
Good.
What's your name, sorry?
Owen.
Owen. Good to meet you, Owen. Oh, good to meet you. Right, I just want to make sure that you're functioning okay. I want to do some simple math tests, okay?
Yeah.
So I want you to put your hands out in front of me like this here. And I want to count from 1 to 10, okay? So starting here. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. No.
doesn't seem right now, does it? Let's try that again.
Yep.
Right, let's help him. So 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Bless me, sorry.
You know who I am? Yes, Keelan.
Keelan. Right, so one more. Right, clearly you've done something wrong, so what we'll do is we'll start from one side and we'll go down. So starting at 10, 10,
9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
0, you have 0 fingers. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Sleep. Even deeper, even deeper.
Well, did you enjoy that video? That was a lovely clip there. I really enjoy watching that, not just because I'm a very proud father and watching my son, but it's just good hypnosis. It's a nice example of a hypnotic skit or set of hypnotic skits. So what did we see? Well, right from the start, Jonathan, while the chap has his eyes closed, is reciting his name. So, Owen, in a moment your feet are going to come unstuck. Now, he had stuck his feet previously, so he's removing that suggestion as he now moves on to implement the next suggestion. And the way he links that is but. Okay? Now, we use the word but all the time for linking things. I like your hair, but that but is going to be directly about your hair. So when you say something like but, you're also emphasizing but something else is going to happen. So your feet were stuck, okay, and that was a good skit and that worked. We know that worked. So when we say but, just like they become unstuck, but this becomes stuck. And in this situation, your name's going to stick inside your head. You're going to forget your name. Now notice how Jonathan, even though the guy has his eyes closed, Jonathan still gestures. It's gone. Okay? Now, for you to be talking to someone and then turn away and say, it's gone, the tone of your voice will change from the gentleman's standpoint, from his ear point. So that's also, it's gone. So it's not just the action of moving his hand, it's moving his head and really gesturing. Everything that Jonathan's doing, even though the guy has his eyes closed, is communicating to that guy. So what might not appear to be any suggestion at all is also a very strong suggestion in his physical movements and the way he's conveying that the name is gone. Okay, if I move away from the microphone, it's gone. You know, so it's giving that real sense of the name has disappeared. And then he does a slight twist. It's gone. It's vanished. Now, again, gone and vanished are practically the same thing, but saying the same thing in slightly different ways. That's the power and the wonder of the English language and many languages, that there's often more than one way to say the same thing. He's re-emphasizing in a slightly different way, just in case he can connect with the word vanish better than he can connect with the word gone. So we're double suggesting here the same end result of he cannot remember his name. And then Jonathan says, nod your head that you understand, and the gentleman with his eyes closed sort of nods his head. That's again an important feedback of communications, to say, I've given you a suggestion, do you understand what that suggestion is? And he nods his head. Now, that brings me to an important question that someone asked on the YouTube channel last week. I can't remember which video. I think it might have been the last week's video, but it could have been another one. People comment on a variety of videos every week. The key thing is, they said, well, is hypnosis really just like sleep paralysis? Hypnosis and sleep are not the same thing at all. Okay? Now, for good or bad, it's a common understanding. Well, you know, it's just a key word when we say the word sleep. Jonathan could actually say the word bananas, because that word sleep has been set up previously during the induction. Every time I say the word sleep, you'll go back into this eyes closed state. You could have easily said every time I say the word bananas, you'll go back into this eyes closed state. But sleep is just has those similarities with hypnosis, but sleep is not hypnosis, and that's important to get across. As I say, the reason it's not sleep is because the guy is standing up in the middle of a street. He's nodding his head in response to what we're saying. He's listening. Obviously, in order to nod, he has to listen for a nod your head that you understand, and he nods his head that he's got feedback. So he's not asleep, and he's not paralyzed. He's listening to Jonathan, everything Jonathan's saying. And what's surprising for a lot of people is he's listening to everything that's going on around him. Now, Jonathan might have said, or it's common to say when you're doing the induction, is all the sounds around you will not bother you. So if a car backfires or you know, music suddenly and sharply starts playing, that won't, you know, interrupt the process. But again, that's just a suggestion. It's not going to tune out. Some people think that all other sounds disappear but the sound of the hypnotist's voice. They still hear it, they just don't bother with it. And that's the slight difference. Okay, so hopefully that answers the question on, is hypnosis just like sleep paralysis? It's not sleep, it's not sleep paralysis. They are totally listening, responding, standing without falling over in the middle of the street. That's not in any way what sleep paralysis is like. Anyway, moving on. So Jonathan then says, well, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes, and the guy opens his eyes, and the first thing Jonathan does is just get him to step forward. What that's doing is just confirming within the gentleman's mind that the previous suggestion has been removed. In other words, your feet were stuck to the floor. So he's moving it forward. And what's nice, but very subtle again, but an important little twist for providing more hypnotic suggestion is Jonathan then says, "You feeling good? Yeah, are you feeling good? Are you feeling good?" That's almost like a question, but it's actually, bordering on a suggestion as well. So we're just giving him the suggestion, giving him the question in order to really answer it almost ourselves, that you are feeling good. Don't get fazed by what's going on here that you can't remember your name. Just feel good about it and enjoy the experience. So as subtle as it is, it's an important thing to just layer in once in a while, just to give them a suggestion of, stay calm, you're okay, we're in a controlled environment here, and I'm looking after your well-being. All that in just a feel good. You feel good? Nice little comment, but it says so much more than just that question when someone's in hypnosis. So once we've established that he's feeling good and he's able to move his feet, so we know the old suggestion has disappeared, we know the "but your name is gone" suggestion is probably already there. But now's the time to test. There, put another "but" in. So he says to the guy, "So, what's your name?" And the guy just pauses. Bingo, beautiful, the suggestion has been accepted. And I say bingo with a bit of surprise, because these are always suggestions. If someone really doesn't want this to happen, if it's against their religion, it's against their morals, it's against their way of thinking in this moment, that they just do not want to lose their name, it won't happen. So again, back to the age-old broken record, I always say people are in control. It doesn't look like it because the suggestions were accepted beautifully, but it's their choice to accept or reject the suggestion. So lovely to see it happening. And you can see the guy really confused. Once Jonathan sees that, he adds another suggestion. Did you spot it? It's really slowing down. If someone's confused about something, and it's probably a bad habit to get into, but we usually say things more slowly. Where did you leave the car keys? If someone's lost the car keys, we repeat the question very slowly. So it's part of our psyche, it's a part of our understanding that if somebody's asking something very slowly, there's a suggestion that something's going wrong here, or you forgot something. So Jonathan says that very slowly. What's your name? So check back on that. That in itself is another suggestion to reinforce that he's forgot something. Now at one point Jonathan waves his hand across the gentleman's face. That can be quite common when someone's searching for a memory, in this case the memory of his name. They might be looking around, and inside their head they might have stored it in a certain place, down here, down there, or up there. Oh, there's my name there. So it doesn't hurt just to grab his attention and draw his eye line back in a certain direction where he was looking before when he couldn't remember his name. So what's your name is an option, doesn't have to be done, and just because they're looking around doesn't mean their name will come back. That doesn't mean they will find their name. But if you start to see people's eyes moving around, it doesn't hurt just to grab their attention and say, look at me, what's your name? And from time to time you might see that in other videos that I've put off of name amnesia. I'm just saying, look at me and what's your name? Because I know when someone's looking straight ahead, that's generally because they've already forgotten their name. So I know in that direction they're not going to find it by looking around. So a nice little hypnotic tip there. A nice little movement as Jonathan drops the guy back into hypnosis. he does a little arm pull, a little jerk of the body. And that's not violent, it's not quick, it's not going to drag him to the ground. It's very important you never, you know, excessively use any sort of violent action or movement when you're doing these things. It's just a little jerk, and that just startles someone, and through the startle response drops them back into hypnosis, and they go even deeper still. And Jonathan, you know, follows that through with an even deeper suggestion as the guy closes his eyes down. So the guy's now in a very relaxed state. You can see just about from the camera angle that his arms are nice and loose and limp, and he's really in that down state. We've got several things by now. We've got him to stick his feet to the ground, we've got him to forget his name. So Jonathan moves on with a second amnesia suggestion of you cannot remember the number 7. And he goes on to, you know, teach him almost how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 to infinity if necessary. Now, we're not going to get him to count to infinity, but it's just we want to make sure that only that one number that's being suggested has disappeared. And he opens his eyes again, and Jonathan gets him to count. The guy puts his hands up, and Jonathan starts to count. Now, again, notice how, well, it's not something you do every day, count your fingers, especially towards an audience who are looking behind the camera. So Jonathan has to coach him and say, you know, 1 by starting off the count, 2, and then he goes quiet, so the guy goes, oh, I'm supposed to be counting here. It has to be him counting it because it's him that's lost the number 7. Notice how when we get to the number 7, he goes 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 very quickly, very easily. But then he gets to the 7th finger, and the gentleman knows something's up here. He goes 8. Again, don't be fazed by that he pauses. Just know that you've given that suggestion, especially if he's done other beautiful suggestions before that this suggestion is going to work. Just give him time. The brain has been told under hypnosis that there's no number 7. So even though he's saying the number 7 since primary school and before, you know, when he gets 6 and then goes on, what pops out but 8. And Jonathan goes on up again. Now, look at the confusion on the gentleman's face, but again, if you didn't notice it, rewind the video here and watch again at Jonathan's face. Also, when he I think it's when he gets to the number 11, might even be sooner myself now, but when he gets to the number 11, Jonathan's going, 11? Again, we do this non-verbal suggestion of there's something confusing going on here by furrowing our brow. 11? So that again is another communications. There's so much communications going on from Jonathan beyond just what's coming out, the words coming out of his mouth. It's the tone of the words coming out of his mouth. It's the speed at which they're coming out of his mouth. The, you know, what's your name, or 11? And the furrowing of his brow, the visual expressions. As I said earlier, the movement of his hand, even with the guy with his eyes closed, Jonathan was still communicating in so many other ways than just speaking out loud. So watch the video again. There's a lot more going on than you maybe noticed the first time. So I hope you got all that information from that video. If you didn't, please rewind it and watch it again. It really is a fun video to watch, and a lot more going on than you maybe notice first time round. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you give it a like so it helps and supports my YouTube channel and gets in front of lots more people so I can make more videos just for people like yourself. And make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know that there's a new video coming out from myself. Click the grey notification bell right next to that subscribe button so you get notified when a new video is coming out. And as I said right up the front, I really enjoy your comments, and I give feedback on the comments in this video today, so please add extra comments and I'll answer them on the next video from Feel Good Hypnosis. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Stay safe.